Dude,
Aaron?
that was awesome. That's my favorite song that
That's
you
one
done
of the
this morning.
first songs I ever wrote, and I really was actually sitting all alone with nothing, no electric, no water, no food. Just one of those times where it's like, I'm gonna make the best of this. So I had a bunch of candles, and that song came like, I'm sitting there starving to death, no food, no electric, and I'm like, I'm so hungry. And I was like, okay. I found a can of beans, and I was breaking it up with a hammer and a screwdriver, breaking that can open, and then I started eating and felt better. And I was like, phew. And then I was just like sitting all alone, because that's what I was doing. And probably the first song I really wrote, and actually sat down and wrote it all in a notebook. And I remember it so vividly because all of my strings were broke, and I always kept a spiral notebook so that I could pull the spiral out, and I would tie my strings back up, and I was laying there staring at the ceiling just... And I loved that sound, and I barely knew how to play, but I knew that any time that I'd hit the guitar like that, it just sounded beautiful. And that type of stuff came out of it too,
I am just amazed.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, I wanted to come here and talk a little bit about, mental illness and, things like that musicians go through, because it's really important that people understand it. Sometimes, the music is what keeps people from feeling bad,
Dude,
in the most miserable and awful situations.
Yes.
Music can feel the soul in such different ways, and it's not just the music. Sometimes it's just the frequencies, like just the resonation of that.
It is a healing process.
And it
for
can
the
pull
mind.
you out of those bad spots.
And for me, I feel like people have said that I've had the worst experience growing up, but I always use music to channel those in there, and I think that's why some of my stuff comes up cryptic, because musicians won't talk about that, and I think it's important that they do. I think it's important that they get together.
I do too.
And we do all these shows and support fundraisers, things like that, but we never do anything for the mental awareness side for musicians. And I think that would be amazing if somebody would start doing festivals and musicians would get up there and speak about what was the pain of this music. What did this save you? Because, these type of songs, people say I write sad music. And I'm proud of that, because everyone needs that sad song that they can relate to.
I'm going to tell you something.
Absolutely.
I have said it before, and I'll say it 1,000 times. I am one of those people that keeps so much bottled inside. Mm-hmm. I don't have an outlet like you guys do. I don't have that outlet. Mentally, there's a lot of crap goes on up here. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and I'm not crazy, but I'm pretty close. But I mean, seriously, there are things that I have issues dealing with. Mm-hmm. But when I run into musicians like yourself, that is such a healing process for me to listen to what you're putting out, because I know that what you're putting out is not only what I'm feeling, but I know you had to go through it or you couldn't have put those words down, because I don't know how to put those words out there, but you guys do. Mm-hmm. You have that special knack of putting things out that folks like myself, and I know I'm not the only one. I mean, I know I'm not the only person. It's the anxiety
of it that musicians go through, where they want to share those experiences with somebody.
But there are other people out there having that same anxiety that don't know how to release it. Mm-hmm. And you guys are that healing process.
Well, and, writing in that kind of, cryptic way, like you were talking about, that leaves it very open to interpretation and for anybody to take it any way that they need to.
That's how I like to write, because I feel like, if it's not this song, it could be the next song or the next song that resonates with people, that makes people really feel that frequency that I talk about. Like this, just that alone to me, just that vibrational pattern. Yes.
It's a very calming, it's a calming effect. Yep. But you should be proud of the fact that not only are you healing yourself, you're healing other people with what you're doing.
That makes everything worth
it I'll
there.
never give up at that. I'm always the first to give my all for somebody else, because I feel like, I don't want anybody to feel like me, because I don't really have an outlet. I mean, I know that I channel it all into the music, but the outlet for me is to release it, and the anxiety that I have before I release it is the hardest thing. But once I'm there and I'm on the spot, like I feel like, look at me, look at me. I've pretty much put all my anxiety into this for you to just look at me.
You can feel it, but you can feel it.
Yes.